Greetings and salutations. The lighting's probably terrible because I'm filming this at the night time. But it is 2024, yes. And somehow we have a new Percy Jackson book to read. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna bring you guys along. I tend to do that when I read Percy Jackson books. I'm also gonna be so for real with you guys. I can't remember Tellers of the Gods that much, and I'm praying that that doesn't matter. I'm praying that that's not gonna impact me too bad, and like I'll be fine. I remember the concept. Like I remember we're getting letters of recommendation for college. If I need to remember anything else, I'm fucked. But and like, what if this made me lose my mind? What if this made me lose my mind? What if I actually went crazy right now? What if I actually went fucking insane? What do you mean? If the third book has anything about Thalia mentioned, I will scream. And you're never gonna get me to pronounce it Thalia. It's Thalia, and it'll be Thalia until the end of time to me. I'm simply one sentence into the book and it goes, October, best month ever. So fucking true. My birthday's in October and Halloween is in October. So true, Percy Jackson. Thank you so much. Theme? I yelled because that's the question I'd been preparing to answer before I nodded off. The theme is free will versus fate. That's going to be a theme in this novel, if I know anything about literature. Now, I'm going to be so for real. I heard triple goddess. My brain did not go to Hecate at all. Also, learnt, because there was a little pamphlet that came with this book when I bought it, that Hecate is how you pronounce it. If anyone has watched my Heroes of Olympus reading vlogs, I fully call her Hecate. And I didn't realize it was wrong until there was like a pronunciation guide that came with this book, which is quite embarrassing for me. But like, Greek names are hard and I'm stupid. And a lot of these names I like learned and decided in my brain how they sounded when I was like 10. So I was really stupid back then. Grover walking around with a hoodie that says the word human on it is kind of extremely fucking funny to me, I won't lie. I can't help wondering if she's writing a character based on me. Maybe that sounds self-centered, but the idea of anybody writing a book about me makes me super paranoid. I see what you did there. Very funny, Rick. We're going to meet Annabeth. We're going to meet my girl. The only shit I hear about. My bitch. My main girl. I shouldn't call her my bitch. I respect her, and I love her so bad. She's everything to me. We're getting to see I can do Annabeth content. She wore an oversized UC Berkeley sweatshirt, distressed jeans, and new Doc Martens. And you, like, people are still trying to tell me that Annabeth is not canonically bisexual? Grow up. I'm not sure if you've ever had this experience when you see someone you know from a distance and for a split second you don't recognize them. Your brain just registers, oh, that person looks amazing. Then you realize it's someone you've known for years. Your girlfriend, in fact, and that sends a tingle of happiness through your whole body. They're so cute, I will punch something. Desperately need everyone who thinks of Annabeth as like goody two-shoes to recognize that, like, yeah, she's the one being like, let's throw a party at a goddess's house. We'll clean up, it'll be fine. That's my baby girl. Her having like respect for rules and authority does not mean that she isn't naturally also a rule breaker and someone who like actively lives on edge and it's kind of like a shit stirrer herself. She's not Hermione. I would just like to say it's incredibly personal to me that Annabeth Chase is like a Halloween person because I am a Halloween girly. It is my favorite holiday. I love Halloween so much. The idea of like Annabeth canonically being someone who gets really into Halloween and wants to throw Halloween parties and gets really intense about like the ambiance of the Halloween parties. That's very joyful to me. That makes me very happy. We got a Leo mention. We got a Percy and Leo friendship mention. I love their friendship. We got a Percy and Leo friendship mention. I do think, hi, it's a new day. I do think I said this in my House of Hades reading vlog back whenever I did this, or I just have thought it to myself many times, but I feel like I spoke it and edited the footage of me saying it. I picture Gale, the polecat Gale, as the little, I don't even know what it is in Barbie Rapunzel, whether that's a polecat, whether that's a weasel, whatever. The one that sits around Gothel's shoulders and like goes like, all the time. That's how I picture Gale the polecat. That's been my truth forever, and it's not changing. Glad we're getting a Gale the polecat. Actually, I'm not glad we get a Gale the polecat appearance, if I'm honest. I'm actually not glad about it, but references, throwbacks. This reading vlog is going really well so far. All right, day 3 of attempting to film this reading vlog. I want to be really, really honest and vocal with you guys about, like, I usually love filming these and I usually am so excited to read and just jump right into it. But, like, the past few days, I've just been so full out busy. I've been being social, like, every single day. And I also think I'm getting a cold, which probably doesn't help. I've recently, like, within this year learned that I'm autistic, and ever since, like, kind of having that language to recognize, I've realized how much, like, burnout from social settings impacts me. And so even though I'm technically, like, filming this alone and it's entirely by myself, it's still something that I feel that I have to mask for and I have to perform for. And so when I have the free time, I don't have the energy for it, which really sucks. And I've also been overworking myself a little bit. I've been filming a lot of content because there's a lot of exciting things going on right now, and also just videos that I've wanted to make for a while that I finally got the time and creative space to make, which is cool. But yeah, it's taking a bit of a moment. I just wanted to be really upfront about that with you. So just moving forward, if there's a little bit lower energy or anything in this one, I want to apologize, but I wanted to be very upfront about that being the reason why. By the time we reached Gramercy Park, I felt like I'd been holding the weight of the sky on my shoulders. I don't mean that figuratively. I've done it. So has Annabeth. It's the worst. I wouldn't have been surprised if my hair got a grey streak again like it did when I took on Atlas's job. I think we should write into canon that you and Annabeth have grey streaks again, actually. I think it's disgusting we ever wrote it out of canon, and I think you should bring it back. I think you should develop a grey streak again. Please, Rick. Please let them have grey streaks again. Please. Okay, I'm about to get mad parasocial with a fictional character, and I need you all to prepare for that. Rick has just mentioned that Annabeth came out and she's wearing owl patterned pajamas. This series is set after Heroes of Olympus. I know that Annabeth canonically wore, like, owl earrings and stuff when she was younger, and it was very cute. I just do not think that after following the mark of Athena, that Annabeth would wear owl pattern stuff. Believe that wholeheartedly. And I know that I'm not the one to create canon, but I do just believe that in myself. All right, kids. Okay, so since I filmed a very, very brief little amount, you can see my bra. It's all right. It's bra straps. It's not shocking that I'm wearing a bra. You can handle seeing my bra straps. As many people may have noticed, you wouldn't have noticed, you don't know. I filmed a little bit, like 50 pages worth of reading over the course of like 3 days, which is super slow for me. And I had to take a break from filming because I had a little work trip, sort of. It was still in Melbourne, but it was like we went to a specific venue and stayed at a property like 3 minutes from the venue for 3 days because we had to set up and then through the event and then pack everything down and then get everything ready the next day. So because it was like in this very like rural area, I had that for 3 days, and then I needed some recovery time. So for my introverted self, I always need a recovery day, and I also got super sick prior to that event, but I'm still unwell. But basically, long story short, I had a big break from filming this. By big break, I mean like a 4-day break. But I'm back now. We're gonna, as the kids say, we're gonna lock in. I'm gonna actually read this book because I've been excited to read this. I just, like, my brain has been dumb. But we're gonna lock in, like the kids say. Today, I have no plans for the day other than reading, which is very exciting for me. We had some trouble on 3rd Avenue when Hecuba decided to attack a Lil Zeus Greek food cart, but I managed to pull her off before she killed the cook or devoured his meat supply. Dude wasn't too happy. He yelled something in Greek at me, maybe please control your rhinoceros, but I couldn't be too mad at Hecuba. For one thing, the food smelled good. For another, anything labelled Zeus sent me into attack mode too. Same dude. Fuck that guy. This is a street hate page. Fuck that guy. Back in August, my stepdad Paul had tried to help me organise my schoolwork when he saw that it was way too much for me to keep straight on my own. He suggested I think of homework as triage. Look at your assignments like they're wounded patients, he'd said, and handle them in order of severity. Okay, you need immediate attention or you'll die. You can wait a bit. You aren't that bad. Go home, take some aspirin, and call me tomorrow. That's actually a very, very helpful system. I wish that I had been told something like that in high school. I had pretty intense undiagnosed autism and ADHD during high school, so I usually got all my work done because I prided myself on getting good grades, particularly in the subjects that I cared a lot about, like English and history and drama, but I was very, very bad at doing any work until it was an hour before it was due. I could not fathom any sense of urgency until a deadline was staring me right fucking down the barrel of the gun. Like, I needed it to be due exactly then in order to find any motivation to do it or be able to focus on that enough to achieve anything. And I wish someone had given me a little system like that was being able to sort things through a little bit more than just leave it till the hour before and you'll find motivation magically. Because especially with subjects that I struggled with, like math or science, even I would leave it up until then, and then I would have all of these questions and I wouldn't have time to clarify them with anyone, and it would really screw myself over. I wish that I had a system of just like being able to be like, okay, subjects that we struggle more with are technically more urgent, even if the deadline is further away, because we're going to start them and immediately have questions that we then need to wait on an answer for. So if anyone's watching this and currently in school, good system for you. That's the weird thing about pets, I guess. Even when they're a total pain, they still manage to burrow their way into your heart. I'm staring down Percy Catson. You guys don't know this, but I'm staring down Percy Catson. I actually really enjoy that. Obviously, everything was building up to the fact that Grover was going to drink their fucking milkshake. He drank the milkshake, things are happening. I really enjoy the commentary and the like actual description of Percy being like, I am struggling with my anger. I know that I put too much pressure on Grover. We shouldn't have left him here alone. He had a lot on his plate trying to handle the whole house, and I shouldn't be mad at my best friend, but him still going through the internal motions of like, he is still a kid, a 16-year-old, I think, no, 17-year-old probably at this point, whose like natural kind of mental path is to be quick to anger, and he's putting in the work to like question that feeling while still allowing himself to kind of like feel that anger. He's like, I know that I'm angry at my friend, but I know that it's wrong and I shouldn't be. I think that is such an interesting and a really, really refreshing thought process to put in a novel, particularly for kids. I mean, I will be honest, I think most of the people reading these books are now adults who grew up with the first series. I hope that kids who are starting the books because of the show are reading these ones too, but I think these ones more than anything, their audience are people who grew up with the books initially. So probably people who were a little bit older than the necessary target demographic for them. But I still think that's a really cool thing to put in a children's novel, is to just show, have a main character who is quick to anger, but also is like putting in the mental work to question that emotion and make sure that even though he is angry and he's feeling those feelings, he's not letting it necessarily impact how he's interacting with Grover. He's trying very hard to remain calm and empathetic with his best friend. I think that's really cool. On my keychain, I kept a dog whistle that Leo Valdez had given me. It wasn't made of Stygian ice like my first one. That had shattered. This one was celestial bronze and engraved with Leo plus Percy forever heart, because Leo was a doofus. That made me happy. Yes, I wanted to go to New Rome University to be with Annabeth. No doubt about that, but I also felt like part of my heart was already there. I had good friends among the Roman demigods. My half-brother Tyson lived there, and Mrs. O'Leary spent most of her time at Camp Jupiter. She liked the food in the mess hall. She liked the elephant. She liked the whole package. Maybe I should write an application essay about that. I want to go to your university because my dog lives there. Or maybe not. I don't know why Percy talking so positively about Mrs. O'Leary is like warming my heart. I'm very much so like an animal pet oriented person, I think. So like in any time of meeting where it's just like, I really love my pet, I'm like, I relate. I really love my pet. I also like the idea of like, yeah, Percy is going to New Rome University for Annabeth, but it's not like the biggest sacrifice ever. I feel like a lot of people act, this is a thing that pisses me off. I don't know if it's still being said. Back in the day, I'm putting the book down, we're getting into this. Back in the day, it was literally said that Annabeth was emotionally abusive or manipulative. A lot of strong words were thrown around for a lot of different things that Annabeth did, but one of the main ones was making Percy go to New Rome University, saying that she expected him to go there for her, and maybe that wasn't Percy's path. Okay, maybe Percy was a little bit reluctant to it very, very initially in House of Hades. Percy himself has so many reasons to want to go there, and he himself made that decision to go there. Annabeth also was sacrificing that. She's dual enrolling. She's going to both UC Berkeley and New Rome University to be with Percy too. She's also making sacrifices to be there with him. But I just really like the canon explanation of how many things that are at New Rome University that make Percy want to go besides just Annabeth being there. It's healthy, and it also shuts those people the F up. Guys, there's a hellhound puppy. There's a hellhound puppy. I don't know how to be normal about this. There's a hellhound puppy. Oh my god. Crawled right into my lap. He was heavy, like 50 pounds, and floppy, with ridiculously oversized paws that told me he was going to be a rhino-sized hellhound someday. I scratched behind his ears and kept feeding him treats, letting him get used to the sound of my voice. I'd gone out to find 2 missing pets and was coming home with a different dog instead, but anytime you can help a puppy, you should help a puppy. Yeah. Well, he's just a pup, Grover explained. He isn't barking in complete sentences yet, but basically he said I pee on boy, boy is mine. He's claimed Percy, guys. He's claimed Percy. I love Nope so much. We all mess up, Annabeth consoled him. Remember when Percy sent Medusa's head to Mount Olympus? Or when he got a nosebleed on Mark of Gaia? Or that time? Are you just writing down a list of times I messed up? I asked. Annabeth shrugged. You're cute when you mess up. That didn't seem to help Grover's mood. Bringing up the nosebleed! I love you, baby girl, but bringing up the nosebleed was me. Dude, Kyron's here! Kyron is here! Why is Kyron here? I don't know yet, but Kyron's here, and I just got very excited about the fact that Kyron's here. Finally, my brain caught up. Mr. Brunner? I stammered. I hadn't called him Mr. Brunner since I was 12 years old, but old habits die hard. Seeing him back behind a teacher's desk after all these years. Oh, my nostalgia! Hecuba was the last queen of Troy. When the Greeks took the city, they killed her children and enslaved her. Hecuba despaired and threw herself into the sea. She would have died, but the goddess Hecate took pity on her and turned her into a dog. I made a mental note never to earn Hecate's pity. Being a dog didn't sound like much of a consolation prize. Speak for yourself. I would love being a dog. I think I would be a better cat, but like I'll take what I can fucking get. Speak for yourself, Percy. Also, I've just realized I keep saying Hecate when my little pronunciation guide that came with this book did tell me it's pronounced Hecate. You can't change me. Did you try to call? Hecate asked, her voice whinnying from the horse's mouth. Still, nobody else on the train reacted. I was reluctant to answer the goddess since I would probably look like I was talking to myself. On the other hand, it wouldn't be the first time New York commuters had seen that on the train. I really needed to start carrying a dummy pair of headphones with me. Then people would think I was just talking to a friend and not communicating with otherworldly forces. No, I didn't call, I said. Why? I heard you speak my name, said the lion. More times than usual. Is everything all right? I should have known better than to use her name so often. That tends to get a god's attention. It's the divine equivalent of a butt dial. So we're bringing back the names have power thing, okay? Because we did, and I've talked about this, we sort of dropped that for a while. So we're bringing it back. That's cool. That's cute. Not a problem. Just clarifying that that's a rule again now. Also, as someone who so content creation is one of my jobs. It's my main source of income. I do princessing too, but that's gig work. It's infrequent. My main job is content creation. My main source of income is content creation. Do you know how often I go to events or occasions and I want to vlog? Because that's a kind of content creation that people like to see. But I get too fucking embarrassed to film myself in public. What I need to do is start bringing headphones and just pretending that I'm on FaceTime with someone and pretending that that's why. I also don't answer FaceTime calls in public because I get too embarrassed, but people do it. It's not that weird. I need to get over my social anxiety and then pretend that I'm brave enough to answer a FaceTime call so that I'm brave enough to vlog in public. That's quite convoluted, isn't it? Oh well. Fuck. I got so excited just then about opening a new chapter and reading things went downhill when we encountered Athena that I knocked my camera off the tripod. Relax, Ashlee. I hate Athena. This is not a secret. Oh my god, get even. Be straight. Getting flashbacks to me talking to myself in the mirror when I was 12. I hate Athena with a burning passion in this series. As we've been new, Annabeth Chase is very important to me. I'm very protective of her. Athena sucks as a parent. Not happy about her showing up. If her and Annabeth contract and she has anything to say, I'm gonna beat a goddess up. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna beat a Greek goddess up. I'm gonna do it. False alarm, guys. It's a statue. We're talking to the statue. We're asking for like help from the statue, as we do with gods, but it's a statue. She's not just showing up physically. False alarm. It's a good thing I didn't overreact to that, right? Chapter 16's title is a Panic at the Disco reference. Hellhounds at the Disco. These books were truly made for my like 10-year-old self. I say that as if I don't still fuck with Panic at the Disco. I do still fuck with early Panic. I just don't give a fuck about the last few Panic albums. And Panic at the Disco itself doesn't even exist anymore. Didn't Brendan Urie, he stopped doing stuff under the I don't know if he's still doing anything, but he definitely stopped doing stuff under the Panic name. Death of a Bachelor was the last Panic album that I fucked with, you know? Every time I lose someone, I said, I get so angry. I want revenge. But then I remember what my friends would want. The same thing my mom wants for me. To be happy. To find people who matter and hang on to them for as long as I can. I picked up a smooth round rock. For all I knew, it was a sling stone from the Trojan War. I can't go back in time, I said. I can't recover the people I've lost. So I have to concentrate on the family I've still got. Not just my mom and stepdad, or even the new baby, but also Annabeth, Grover, all my friends at Camp Half-Blood. Note padded up to Hecuba, sniffed her, and flopped down between her front paws. Hecuba looked at the puppy, who was doing what puppies do best, radiating sweetness, sending out a message on all channels. I'm adorable, take care of me. You've got family too, I told Hecuba. I know Hecate is not perfect. It must get annoying the way she treats you like a pet. But I've also seen how she looks at you. You mean a lot to her. And Gail, I think she'd be really sad without you. And now there's no... Hecuba sniffed the pup's head. Her demeanour was still sad and grieving, but she seemed calmer, no longer interested in destroying Greek restaurants or rampaging through discos. I can only imagine what you went through when Troy fell, I confessed. But you can scare all the Greeks you want. It won't heal the grief. It's just chucking more wood into the fire. I think it's better to find your pack and protect it. Hecuba growled. Okay, I said maybe pack isn't the right word. I don't know why Hecate turned you into a hellhound. Gods are weird. I have a friend whose dad once turned you into a tree. Maybe Hecate saved you the only way she knew how. It's not perfect, but it's still love. That's so fucking beautiful. What if I have a breakdown? What if I have a cheeky little breakdown? Also, I really do love how this novel specifically is really like humanizing Hecuba, framing her when she's doing villainous things as just going through the motions of grief and loss. The first book in this little trilogy about getting into college was very much so about like becoming okay with the passage of time and with growing up, and this one feels a lot like I'm still, you know, not even halfway through yet, but it feels very much so like the main theme of this one is finding empathy with yourself and with other people in their darkest moments, centered around Halloween as a dark holiday. The next thing I remember, I was staring at the glittery ceiling in the great room of the manse, and Annabeth was tucking a blanket around me. Good job, hero, she said. Annabeth calling Percy hero as a pet name. We know that's my shit. Ooh, a German nightclub. Grover nodded vigorously. Was it Berghain? I've always wanted to go there. I frowned. I didn't figure you for a nightclub guy. Are you kidding? I can hoof book you with the rest of them. I've still got that wedding dress outfit from the Sea of Monsters too, he sighed. Maybe someday. Absolutely crazy lore drop about Grover. I fuck with it though. Good for you, King. I'm not a club person, but like, good for you. Can we get more excuses for Grover to wear? I don't know if a wedding dress is the right vibe for a club. We just need to get Grover some more dresses that maybe fit the clubbing vibe a bit more. SEJ. I don't know her middle name, but Sally Jackson? I assume. Hecate's School of Magic 1913 to 1914. Sally would not have been born yet, so it can't be Sally something Jackson. Who else can it be? It's not Talia and Jason's mom, because that's a G. Grace. Lee Castellan's a C. I don't know. I also do just want to mention that in my mind, the like Hecate's like forbidden library is, I don't know if anyone watched Winx, but in the second season, I can't remember if the whole library was hidden or if there's like a library that Bloom gets permission to go into and she finds like hidden books that aren't meant to be there. It's like the first time we ever see Dark Bloom is in this library. But that's that library from that scene is what I'm picturing. People probably haven't seen Winx. I'm wearing my Winx shirt today though. Grover casually and modestly being like, yeah, I can do some kind of really ancient magic because I'm a cloven elder now. It's fine, it's just draining. Grover! I love Grover. Don't do that, I said gently as I could. Don't brush it away. The tear? No, dude, the importance of what you're telling me. Look, I don't know what happened with the strawberry potion. I don't know if Hecate was setting you up to fail or what, but I do know that nothing on earth is worth losing my best friend. We'll figure this out. Just, please, no more grounding yourself. I'm the one who should be apologizing. I should have been thinking about how you felt rather than stressing about getting into college. He sniffled. Well, you should stress about getting into college. A little. Thanks, man. Because I've seen your GPA. Just come here. I love them. I love them. Their friendship is so healthy. Also, Grandma being like, yeah, you should actually worry though, because your grades aren't good. Guys, chapter 19's title is Oops, I Killed You Again. And I fuck with that. Just so everyone's aware. I never helped him, she snarled. I was not his friend. Ah! He never forgets an enemy face either. Grover said, that's what I meant to say. That's really funny at me. My humor's broken. That's really funny to me. Philomena, it sounds very familiar. This is something that happened in the books. I vaguely remember this. It sounds familiar. I just don't know how because my memory sucks. My first instinct was to put myself between Grover and danger. Grover's first instinct was to put himself between me and the same danger. We ended up running into each other and both being directly in the splash zone. I love friendship. I was fucking right. It was Cersei's island, but I didn't know for sure. That was my gut instinct. No one's gonna believe me because I didn't say that I thought they were from Cersei's island, but I thought it and I was right. But how many fucking people were there? Because Rhaena and her sister were also there. So like, how many fucking people were working at this island? Percy asking to dress up as Spider-Man makes me happy. An hour later, we rode up to Sense Forever in our new costumes, which were not better than Spider-Man. Well, maybe Annabeth's costume was better. She was dressed as a Roman noblewoman with a flowing white gown that draped diagonally over one shoulder. Gold costume bangles glittered on her arms, and she'd also picked the gaudiest golden necklace she could find. Up close, you could tell it was plastic, but we were hoping the naiads wouldn't get that close. With the help of the costume people, Annabeth had done her hair and makeup like it had been on Cersei's island. She looked incredible, but you don't have to take my word for it. The costume person's exact reaction was, "You look incredible." Then she turned to Grover and me and said, "Now, these two are a challenge." I relate to Percy and Grover in that moment. We were dressed as Annabeth's servant / bodyguard / loyal gladiators. No notes, brilliant, 10 out of 10. I'm actually really glad that we as a novel are questioning how monsters afford so much like property in New York City. I do think about this often. How do they afford it? How are they paying bills? I assume they're not getting that many customers. How are they funding these endeavors? Guys, the title of the fucking novel is from Annabeth pretending to be a Cersei, then Hecate trained Karen, threatening everyone to get Gale back. That is where the title of this novel comes from. Like, I have no choice but to stand, I fear. Hello, kids. It is a new day. We're finishing the book today because yesterday I had a bit of a mentee bee. I had a cheeky little breakdown. My personal life is an interesting time and place. I know that I'm bad at my job. I'm aware that my whole job is being on camera, and I'm bad at it. But we're back. Let's go! Don't mind me, I just moved my whole tripod closer so I could reach my camera without disturbing Percy Catson, who has decided that it's nap time. Percy immediately, like, just throwing the potion immediately back at the sisters, being like, you're not fucking getting Annabeth, fuck off. Alright, genuinely yell at me if this is, like, me being not that it's, like, privileged, but, like, me underestimating pain. I've never been stung by a bee. Never been stung by a bee. Bees are my friends. Me and the bees, we get along. I like bees, they like me. I'm terrified of wasps. I've also never been stung by a wasp, God fucking forbid. But I know bee stings hurt. But do they really hurt that much? You know? Do they actually hurt that much? I remember at, like, a family party when I was a kid, my sister stepped on a bee and got stung because she stepped on a bee. And she was, like, screaming, but she was, like, 4. I feel like I could get stung by a bee and be like, okay. I know Percy's getting stung by, like, 20 at a time, he said, which is probably a little bit more painful, but I'm like, it's probably not that bad. Like, it's just bee sting. Where my girlfriend's face had been a second before, 2 huge black eyes stared out over a hooked golden beak. Her head had turned into a heart-shaped expanse of white plumage rimmed with speckled brown feathers. From the neck up, my wise girl was a barn owl. I'm honestly surprised that it took us, like, nearly 20 years into the world of Percy Jackson books being published for this to happen. I'm honestly shocked it didn't happen sooner. I raised my hands, except I didn't have hands anymore. Where my arms used to be were 8 thick purple tentacles lined with pink suction cups. Why would Rick write that? Why? He has to know there's a certain audience who's going to take that in a certain way. And I simply don't want to see any remnants of that on the internet, but I fear that I'm not going to be able to avoid it. Why would Rick write that in? He has to know. Is it true that each octopus tentacle has, like, literally a mind of its own? Please tell me that's not true. I'm already scared of octopi? Octopuses, octopi. I think the word's octopi, but that sounds incorrect. I'm already scared of them because they're so much smarter than humans, and anything that, and I feel this way about humans, like, anyone who's smarter than me, I'm like, you should be in charge. You should be running this. Octopi are, like, technically below us and the food chain feels wrong. I think they should be our overlords, to be quite frank. But I'm scared of them having, look at Percy, he's funny. He's just hiding his little face in my arm. Is that true? What's the point of this? Is that true? I don't like that. I do really love Percy fully, like, not only being empathetic with Gale right now and talking to her about, and from a very real place of understanding how difficult it must be to have been such a genius and to have been so skilled at her craft and then to lose that and to be punished by Hecate and then forced to not only not be able to use her brain, use her skills, but also be forced to be a pet. But also being like, hey, if you help me and if I get you out of here, I will help you. I'll find a way for you to find an existence that you're happier in. And I don't think he's just saying that to help with the quest and help with the situation. He genuinely has empathy for these people and wants to help them out. And that is just such a good example of why I love Percy so much as a character and why I think he truly does, when you think of like children's series and even like YA book series, I think often the main characters have a tendency to be quite self-focused, not necessarily selfish, but self-centered. And Percy, I think, breaks that mold. He's not only more fun to read from the POV, I think he's much more humorous than is standard in the genre, but I think he just has this like outward empathy in everything that he does that I do think is rarer to read in young people's books. Like children and YA is the age range I'm thinking of. I'd been wrong about Hecate. She hadn't turned Gale into a polecat out of jealousy. The reason was worse. She'd empathized. She'd lacked faith that Gale could survive on her magical talent alone. Hecate, of all people, knew how the world saw witches. She'd pitied Gale, admired her, and yes, maybe even feared her a little, but she could not imagine a mere human succeeding when she, a goddess, had failed. So Gale had to cease being human. And that is far more interesting as well, and paints Hecate in a much kinder light too. I have no idea if that's accurate to mythology. I haven't. Oh, goodbye, Percy. I don't really know anything about Hecate when it comes to like the actual Greek myths in their original forms. I hope that's more true to the myths because I think that's a far more interesting situation. I offered the bowl to Gale. I promised I would help you if you helped me. And you did. You saved my friends. If you want to be human again, you deserve it. You're an incredible witch, maybe the best ever. Perseus Jackson, I will give you the world. I will. Can I just say, Percy's just talked to like them ordering pizza, has referred to it as like eating pies. That is, I don't know if that's an American thing or it's like a global but not Australian thing, but calling like a pizza like a pie. Being like, you don't say like, oh, I ate 2 whole pies. You just go, I ate 2 whole pizzas. The whole pizza pie thing, crazy. Percy, she said, I don't give you enough credit. I blinked. I'm sorry, can I get that in writing? Maybe on a billboard? She laughed. I'm serious. You're good at understanding people, making them feel seen. And by people, I mean polecats and hellhounds too. Thanks, I think. She took my hand. Back in Astoria, when the undead touched you, you saw Hecuba when she was grieving, the moment she turned into a hellhound, yeah? I nodded. I could still hear Hecuba's anguished howls and feel the heavy Greek shackles around my ankles. Do you know what I saw? Annabeth said. I saw the city itself. Troy. She tightened her grip on my fingers. Your dad built those walls. Did you know that? That whole city was constructed with magic. Maybe I'd heard that story before, but it still sounded strange to me. I couldn't imagine my dad as a bricklayer. I saw the city collapsing, Annabeth continued. Hecuba was dragged out, her family was killed, and the magic unraveled. It's like the city's reason for existing just stopped. I could feel every column cracking, every support beam collapsing. I wanted to save the city. All those homes, temples, palaces, but I couldn't. She gave me a despondent look. You saw the people. I saw the buildings. Why is that? I didn't answer right away. The obvious thing to say was because you're an architect in training, but I knew that wasn't what she needed to hear. She'd been sitting with this vision for a while now, and it was clearly bothering her. Maybe you saw what you needed to see, I ventured. A way to help Hecuba and us. You read people just fine, wise girl. Better than me. But architecture? Only one of us can do that. Ah! I was right. SCJ is Sally Estelle Jackson. Didn't think of Estelle, but that does make sense. But if it happened over a century ago, she would not be alive. She would simply not be alive. I'm confused. I don't like the scone slander. Scone. I say scone. I love scones so much. Get the scone slander out your fucking mouth, Perseus Jackson. If you can't appreciate scones, you're fucking lost. I love scones. I had them the other day. They were really nice. I love scones. Okay, it was just she went past the mansion after it was no longer a school. I'm an idiot. I was very hung up on the timelines of it all. Irrelevant. My bad. The school was my idea, she confessed. Hecate gets so gloomy when she's on her own. It's not healthy for her or her animals. I thought she would find it rewarding to teach young witches. And for a while she did. I was the counsellor and admissions director. I would bring promising students to her. Demigods, mortals, nymphs, centaurs, all sorts. But when things fell apart, what happened? She shrugged listlessly. War? It's always a war. Our students started taking sides, arguing with one another. It escalated from name-calling to violence to potion flinging. Potion flinging is bad. Eudora nodded. The students needed more than we could give them. Empathy, opportunities for healthy communication. I didn't know how to close the rift. And Hecate, well, she believes in crossroads and people making their own choices, even if the choices were bad. She refused to intervene. Things got nasty toward the end. Then she kicked everyone out, swore never to teach again. She blamed me for putting her in that position. Oh. I felt bad for Eudora. It sounded like she'd been doing exactly what my mum had recommended, trying to help a goddess who was hurting. And it backfired spectacularly. Poor Eudora, that's such a sweet idea that she's lonely, being like, start a school where you can teach people. It wasn't her fault that it fell apart. What was I thinking? A magic school? Can you imagine such a thing? Yeah, wild. Get her again. I live and I breathe J.K. Rowling slander. Rowling, I don't care. Fortunately, there was Annabeth. That sentence describes a lot of my life, actually. Yeah, King, it really does. Annabeth holding the torches and it making her hair look like she has streaks of grey? What if we use this as an excuse to bring back the grey streak? Rick, it's just an idea. No matter what happens from here on out, I think, canonically in my mind, we have the grey streaks again? Kinda stole being here. What if I cry? What if I cry? Dude, you got decorations on fire. They're real. Idiot, I love him. Clovis is here, my sleepy king. Oh my god, Argus. Oh my god, Argus. Hey, King! Oh, I missed him! Hey, wise girl, I said, trying to keep the panic out of my voice. Be wise. I don't know much, but I do know we're stronger together. Always. Are you fucking kidding me? I had lost you because of my own pride. I took her hand. Her fingers were cold. You're not getting rid of me that easy. You've all got our fatal flaws, right? If yours is hummus, she laughed weakly. Hubris. That's what I said. I'm fine with it. Balances out my flaw of being too modest about my incredible dance moves. I remember in my video of the last book, Chalice of the Gods, when I was reading it for the first time, there were a lot of callbacks to the Lightning Thief, and I wondered if this one was going to have a lot of callbacks to Sea of Monsters. And I would say more so than Sea of Monsters is still the Lightning Thief. There's a lot of references to the Lightning Thief again. And I think maybe partially that's because Rick maybe remembers that one more after working on season 1 of the show. But there have been quite a few callbacks to the Sea of Monsters in this. We had, you know, more people from Cersei's Island show up, and you had like the hubris hummus joke. That was a joke from Sea of Monsters, the novel. So there's a few small little references still pointing that out, which I think is fun. You want to get back to the party? Nah, she kissed me. I'm good. We sat for a while together, and I had to agree. We were pretty good. I'm gonna have a fucking breakdown. I'm so serious. I wasn't a registered lifeguard. My job is ocean, not saving Nereids from their own puddles. His job is ocean. His job is beach. His job is beach. He's just Ken. Anywhere else, he'd be a 10. Even if that means that you two have to leave for California afterward. Hey now, said Juniper, squeezing Grover's wrist. I told you, don't worry about that. Because no matter where you go, your roots are where you're planted. And this right here, she gestured around the table, these are Percy and Annabeth's roots. I'm gonna cry. Well, I said, in that case, what's for dessert? How about this? Annabeth kissed me, which was better than any dessert, and a whole lot better than candy corn. Bold of her to do in front of Percy's whole family, not gonna lie. I hate kissing partners in front of their parents. Like, obviously I'm an adult and I date adults and their parents are aware that we're adult, but I don't even like pecking partners in front of the parents. It feels weird. But that was Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Now we wait a year for the next book. That's fine. I'm fine about that. I can do that. I will say with these books specifically, it's quite odd because I enjoy how low stakes and small they feel, but it is apparent in them, and this is not to say that they're poorly written or that I don't enjoy them, because I very, very much so do, but it is apparent that Rick's heart isn't exactly in it the way that his heart was in any of the main series. You know, these are more so than anything, I think, written to be companions to the show and to generate hype and interest in the show with old readers, and that's not a bad thing. That's a very, very smart marketing tactic, and that's not to say that I don't think he wants to write these either. I think he does, but you can very much so feel in the lower stakes and the both relaxed nature of the writing style, but also the way that certain plot elements are rushed in both of them so far. I think like you can feel that this is a different kind of project than the initial books, and that's not a bad thing, but it's a component, and I think it's why these books are never going to be like favorites for me in the ways that the original series is, but that's okay. I don't need them to be. I hope that doesn't sound negative. I'm not trying to be, but anyway, that was that. Hope you enjoyed. If you're new here, my name is Ashlee Tayla. I make a lot of book and pop culture-y videos all the time. I do a lot of Percy Jackson stuff because I'm a loser. I'm also a cosplayer, so if you would like to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, those will be linked below. All of my social media will be linked below, along with my Etsy store, my Patreon, all the good things. As always, thank you so much to everyone on my Patreon for supporting me, especially those who are one with the Force over there. I love you guys. I'll see you very soon. Mwah.